Good morning.
Morning.
Hopefully my music isn't too loud. I can always turn it back up. Welcome to another month of Fit at 5:15. I know we have one new recruit here this week or this month. Yay! I know someone is missing today, but that's okay. I think they might have said they were busy. So we'll see if they join. If not, that's okay. We'll get started. Today's going to be a full body workout. We're going to do circuit, 10 exercises, 3 rounds in 30 minutes, plus our warm up. And if we're lucky, some stretching. So 10-pound dumbbell, a set of 10-pound dumbbells or anything heavier, like, because we're doing squats and deadlifts. So we might want to go a little heavier for that. And then our band for our warm up. But we're going to continually just move from one exercise to the next exercise. And I'll call out the next exercise and show you some variations, to lower in the intensity or bring it up. So we'll get started right away. We waste no time. We only have 40 minutes. So we get right into it. So grab your band, a large resistance band. So you have to find a way to put your phone down and set it up so that it's not going to obviously fall over, and be able to view either yourself or hear me talking. I can try to describe the exercises to you as well. So we're going to grab that band. We're going to do up and overs, bringing it up and over the head, or even just with your arms, just up and over, arm circle type movement. Because sometimes, you don't have the band, but if you do need them, the dollar store has them for $4. Two pairs or one set, a heavy one and a light one. You can invest in that. And then 360 around. I know you've done this before. Bring the band around, bring it back over your head. We're gonna go clockwise and then counterclockwise, about 8 to 10. And then I always record the videos and I send you out the link. I create a page on my website, and I will also be creating a summary document with links to all the videos as well. The other way, all the way around, back around. Sometimes I use the trending music. Other times I use royalty-free music, basically, so they can get posted to social media and not have it red flagged. All the way around, 360. And then we're gonna hit up some band pull aparts. Hold the band in front, pull the band apart, squeeze. If you've just started getting up early like this, I know it's hard. Usually takes around kind of a week to 2 weeks to kind of regulate itself and squeeze. But thank you for coming. We're gonna check the box today. And squeeze. And 3, 2, 1. Then we're gonna put that down. We're gonna do some zigzags up and back on our mat. So stepping diagonally up toward the edges of our mat and cross and come back to the other side. We're gonna go up and back 2 times. We're just kind of getting our stability, our agility here warmed up today. We'll do this 2 times up and back. And usually just for background noise, we do turn our mics off just to make sure that that we don't all hear you breathing or grunting if there is any background noise with the people in your house. And back. And then we're gonna hit up some lateral walks. Lateral, side, and then lateral back. We're gonna do this 2 times. Again to the side, and you can speed it up. I think you're good, Emily. You can just turn your camera back on there so you can see us or I can see you. And I can always turn the volume off on my end too. Don't worry, I got you. I got you. Yeah, you just worry about moving. There we go. So up and back, and then we're gonna kick ourselves in the butt a little bit. Kick, step, kick. Just to kind of warm up those quads, because once we start moving with our 10 exercises, it's gonna be something. So we can always use the first series of exercises as a little mini warm up, and then load it. Or if you're good to go, we can get right into it real quick. And then one more time, up and back. And I try to keep the space to your mat, which is about, like 6 or 7 feet. And if you can, kick to the front, kick. We're just lifting our leg, kicking forward, kind of warming up the hips and the hamstrings. And if you can move forward with it, if you have a bigger space to work with, we can go with that. And then up and back, usually around 2-3 times each in order to get the number of reps we need. And back to the center. We're gonna do some squats down, progressively up. So we're gonna use it as a way to get larger with our movement, just body weight, all the way down, all the way up. Boom. Down and up. And if you can hit up, down, drop your butt down, a little double bounce, all the way up, just to kind of warm up the hip flexors, the glutes, the legs, and see how our body is feeling today. And last one, a little bit of shuffles to the right, fast feet, touch, to the left, fast feet, and touch. And then we'll get into our workout, starting with squats, of course. Nice big full body movement. Want to get that hot flushing going. Remember, you can bring the intensity up if you move quicker, faster feet, shorter steps. One more time, cross your mat. Awesome. So let's get started. We'll start with the squats, and then we're gonna move on to, where's my board? Rows and flies. So it'll be a shorter, a smaller weight, if you will. Generally 10 is good, but if you've got some 2s or 3s, that would be awesome as well. So let's start with squats. I'll go do it with you. Ready? 1 minute each, and go. So squatting down, sumos or narrow squats, both. It's really up to you. Down, maybe you want to come up with the weight, switch it. Down, good technique. Weight is into the heels, all the way down, up squeeze, all the way up, or just leaving the weights low. If you have both, you can even have them on the sides of the knees, up and back down. Here, if I have one weight, it's called offset loading. And then we can always switch it to the other side, down, up. If all you have is one dumbbell, or if you have both, one in each hand, all the way down, all the way up. And if you prefer that sumo style, that's okay too. Next up, we're going with the rows. Down and up. And 3, 2, 1. If you only have the one, we can use the one. Otherwise, bent over row at the hips. Drive with the elbows. All the way down, all the way up. Now, we can add a variation here. You can hold it, you can do right, and then row left, and then go both. Just add a little bit of fun to it. Row right, row left, row both. Breathe out on the pull, and both. Row right, row left, then both. Make sure your back is stacked, chest proud, abs engaged. We're hitting up some lunges next. Reverse lunge or stationary lunges, up to you. And I'll show you how to progress it. And row, squeeze. And 3, 2, 1. Maybe you want to start with no weights. Maybe you want to have weights. Reverse lunge, down, up, come together, other side. So this is kind of a combination of a split squat, because if we did split squats, we would have to bring our feet together, switch feet, go down, come back up, and then switch to the opposite side. So make sure that you are bending the right knee, the knees, front and back. And then where you put your hands really just depends. Do I have weights? Do I not have weights? And what's my knee saying to me today? So if you're just starting back after a period of a layoff, I would go with no weight for today and then just see how you feel tomorrow. Because you still have to come back tomorrow. Down and up, and then we can always adjust upward the next workout. And overhead press next, shoulder press. 3, 2, 1. So you can have both weights alternating, or we can do both at the same time. Right, left, both. I always like that. Seems to tax the coordination here because you got to think about it, right? Okay, one left, and then I got to recalibrate both. Core tight. Or you can just alternate right to left instead of doing both. So many variations on this one. This is just one option. Alternating right to left and then both. Going up with those deadlifts next. Deadlift pattern, stiff leg, and press. Then we're hitting the floor. And 3, 2, 1, bring them down, take a deep breath. Deadlift, down, and then back up and squeeze. Squeeze those glutes. So push your hips back. Let the weight skim those thighs. Down, up, squeeze, core tight. Draw your belly in. Keep those weights close to the body. And it's gonna take us about 5 seconds. A rep, down, up, squeeze. You don't have to completely bend in half. Just about to horizontal is usually okay, but if you're more flexible, perhaps you'll have to go lower. But the trick here is to make sure that your back is stacked. You're not arching your lower back at all. Not necessarily arching, but rounded. You don't want your back to be rounded like that. And push-ups next. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna drop it down on their knees. We can start from the floor. Hands right by the chest. Drive your knees in, press up. And then come back down and press up. You can touch your chest to the floor and make sure all your joints are tight before pressing up. If your hips are back a little bit, that's okay to start, just as long as you're not completely upside down like this. You know, head bumps, you're not bumping your head. Next up, we're gonna hit up some hip lifts. So we're just gonna roll it over to our back, lift our glutes off the floor. I call them hip lifts. They're actually like glute bridges. All the way down, up, you can hold. And then one more. And 3, 2, 1. We're gonna hit up the hip lifts, either both legs, up, out, in, and down, or we can single leg it. I'll do the single leg next time. Up and squeeze, out, in, down, up, squeeze, out, in, and down. This is a nice calm way before we bring it back up again, the intensity. Up, hold, dry on your belly, that vacuum, out, in, and down. Weight is into the heels, more so than the toes. Up and hold. Squeeze your bum, out, in, and down. We're gonna hit up some reverse crunches next. So we may or may not need that dumbbell over the head. Just depends on what you wanna do. And down, 3, 2, 1. So if you want, you can hold the mat. Reverse, lifting those hips. If the reverse crunches are not working for you, we can do some leg drops. Single leg drop, bring the knee in. Single leg drop, bring the knee in. Okay, so we have a couple of variations here that we could do. Up, down, and you can keep the legs tight, so maybe touch the toes, bring the knees in, lift the hips, slow down, reset. I'd rather you have 8 really good reps than 16 messy ones. Back in, those are effective reps. All the way up, all the way down. Keep your belly in, touch the toes, back up. We're gonna roll it over into some front planks or half planks. 3, 2, and 1. You could use your knees to help roll you up. Roll it over. If you need some more elbow padding, you just fold your mat in half and up. Full body plank or half plank, or any combination of the two. Core is tight, drawn in. Half planks are really great. Like, it's, you know, you don't have to progress right to that full body plank. You get a little more quad in there. Push the floor away. Try not to sink into your shoulder blades. You're not melting. You're nice and strong. Core tight. About 15 seconds. And then we're gonna stand up, half knee, and do some shuffles to bring up our cardio. Quick drink, and we're gonna do the whole thing again. Breathe. Core tight. 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. So you can drop your knee down. Fix your mat. Half knee to bring it up. Let the blood flow back to your feet. We'll stand up and shuffle. Quick, fast feet. Fast feet. There you go. Super fast. Ooh, I have some other ones that we could be doing next time. Whew. We'll do zigzags. Whew. Breathe. Super short shuffles. Or if it's too much, you just step it. Step, 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 step. Real athletic stance. You're down in that crouch position. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. We'll reset, grab a quick drink. Got 2 10s for my squats. If you want to change anything for your squats, maybe a heavier weight for squats, heavier weight for deadlifts. You have something else. You know, I've got some 15s in here. It's about knowing your weights and tracking your weights so you know, okay, I know for this exercise it's this weight, you know, instead of just all being the same. But that also works. Quick drink, we have everything set up, starting with squats. Whew. Then rows. This workout I love. It's got great flow. So many variations. So as long as the weights are not in our way when we do our shuffles at the end, I'm going to show you some zigzag lateral shuffles too. It's almost like agility work with the ladder. You guys ready for the squats? So ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So I'm going to show you another variation: low squat, high squat, dumbbell, low, up, change it high. We get a little bicep in there, down low. And remember, you can also hold it horizontally, up, and then bring it back down. Just everything's under control, nice and slow, good flow, transitioning smoothly between the low point of the squat and the high point of the squat, almost like a piston, but not with that much power. More consistent flow. Down, up, squeeze. Down. Then we're hitting up the rows next. You might have to change your weights, or we can alternate between right and left with this one dumbbell. 3, 2, 1. So if you're using both dumbbells, go right, left, both, or we can hit up single arm and then switch sides, obviously. So I'm just showing you alternating sides because of the camera, but you would just switch your feet, switch your arm if you're looking to go a little heavier, and then the single arm movement. So just alternating right to left or right, left, both with the 2 dumbbells. Last time I had 2 10s. This one is a 15. And last 2 or 3 reps. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Going up lunges. So we may or may not change our weights. Reverse lunge, show you the goblet. Reverse lunge or split squat variation. Or if you're comfortable with a reverse lunge, you can hit it up, just keep stepping backwards. We can sub in any other types of lunges here. So on the last round, if you wanted to change up your lunge, you can. Or if you want to stay with this one, that works as well. Members, split, up, come together, and then repeat the other side. So this is a little bit of cardio. Overhead press is next. I'm gonna show you with 1 dumbbell. Weight is into the heel of this lunge. Step, sink, come together. Overhead press with the shoulders. 3, 2, and 1. So overhead press, you can go both, right, left, both, or up and over, up, bring it up over your head, back down, up and over. With 1 dumbbell, pressing it up over your head, because we don't raise our arms over our head very much as we used to, or as kids. So we can alternate right to left, just to make sure to keep your core tight to help stabilize your spine. Stabilize that midsection of the body. Up and over, back down, boom. Or you can be doing right, left, both. That will up the intensity. This one's a little lower intensity, a little more coordination. 3, 2, and 1. Now we have deadlift. Which variation would you like? Sticking with the stiff leg, or you can hit up the suitcase. That means bend the knees. You're gonna bend down, pick up 2 suitcases, stand up. Bend at the hips. Core tight, chest tall, shoulder blades down. We don't wanna be up into your traps. That could give you a little neck pain that you don't want. And then keeping your eyes somewhat in front of you, kind of where the floor meets the wall. Back down, back up. All the way down, all the way up. And 3, 2, 1. Hitting up those push-ups on the floor. Dropping it down on the knees, from the chest, up. Maybe you want to push a full one. Drop it down, push a half. All the way down, push a full, drop it down, push a half. So you can blend the 2 series of push-ups, full body mixed with a half body. There is nothing wrong with that. This is how we build up strength and endurance in this one movement. Press and up. And 3, 2, 1, flip it over. I'm gonna show you the single leg version here. We did doubles last time, but you can also single leg it if your hips are stable, back down, switch to the other side. So it's a marching single leg hip lift, up and hold, back down. Remember, core tight, compress it down, back down. And you can leave your arms, pushing into the ground. Chin slightly tucked because you do come up on that upper back and shoulders a little bit. Core tight and lift and keep your foot close to the body. After this, we're gonna hit up those reverse crunches because I know they're your favorite. Down, up, or single leg drops, or we can even do double leg drops. Up and down. And I'm gonna show you with the weight over the head. 3, 2, and 1. So you take a weight, you roll it over your head just to help you counterbalance the exercise. Switch to reverse crunches, up, or if you have something else to hold on to, it could be the underside of a couch, it could be your banister, down, touch the feet, up, squeeze, back down, and breathe. Or we can hit up the single leg drops just to show you. Single leg, bring it in, dropping it down, holding with that weight over the head or a bench or something that's heavy so that you're not going to lift it off the floor. Or we can hit up double leg drops, which is actually quite a challenge. Down, bring your knees in to take the weight off. Double knee drops. Ready to flip it over, front plank. 3, 2, and 1. Roll it up. Bring it over. Hopefully you're seeing angel wings in your mat. Crawl it up. Ooh, that would be a good one too, the crawls. Then we're gonna come up and we're gonna do some shuffles. And I'm gonna show you a different variation instead of just the lateral shuffles. We'll do a zigzag lateral shuffle. That's my evil laugh. And squeeze. Breathe out. Take yourself to your happy place. You can rock it if you want. It kind of makes the time pass quicker. Makes it harder though. Breathe. Draw your belly in. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. So just make sure that those weights are out of the way. And zigzagging up. So we're gonna go forward to the side and use the edges of our mat. Zigzag up, zigzag back. Laterally, step up, step back, and step back. So we're zigzagging to the top of our mat and the edges, and then to the back, right and left way. So forward, and then you have to change your feet. So one time one foot leads, the left foot leads, then the right foot leads. So it's really a question of coordination at this point. It's like, okay, which foot do I step with? You're basically feeling like you're tripping over yourself, which is kind of how we learn, right? We trip over ourselves before we get it right. Up and back. Or you can stick with the fast feet, sideways, boom. You're like, I know that pattern. So you can hit that up. I'm gonna change it on the last one for you too. And 3, 2, 1. We got one more round. We can adjust your weight. Stay at the same weights. Drop off your weights if you want. Just go body weight for everything. With a little elevator music here. It'll pass. This music will pass. There'll be something up. You guys ready? Round 3?
Yeah, I got dropped out of that last one. I don't know if anybody did, if it's my connection or yours, but you're still freezing for me, Coach.
Oh, I did hear you drop out, but you were able to come back in without me having to add you. So
okay,
I don't know if it was
my connection.
Yeah, right now I'm not frozen. Everybody else seems to be okay. Can you hear me at least?
It might be my connection. It's periodically it happens, but I didn't know if it was happening for anybody else or just me. All good.
Yeah, we'll keep going. We'll figure it out in the chat. We got our 10-minute signal here, so we have exactly enough time, and it will be the shuffles that will take us out today. Make sure you do your stretching at the end. Let's get our last round in. Ready? Squats and go. All the way down, all the way up. all the way down, all the way up. Hitting up that low squat. Maybe you want to change up your squat variation today. Low squat, up, touch the weight. High squat, goblet squat. Dropping your weight down. If you happen to have a chair or a bench, you can always hover over that bench. And just a nice, slow, smooth, consistent squat all the way down, all the way up, or you can keep the weight low. You're like, no, I think I'm gonna keep it low today instead of switching it. But it does give you a little bicep curl in there. Just working those smaller muscle groups while we work all the big muscle groups today. Full body training, 10 exercises, 10 minutes a round. And then you can choose the number of rounds you would like to do. 3, 2, 1, hitting up those rows. Bent over row, bent over, row, drive with the elbows. And variations on this one, we can hit up the neutral grip. That's palms face each other. You could try an underhand grip. Again, gets the bicep in there, or even an overhand grip. Little less bicep, more bent back. Pop the chest, squeeze. Hopefully you're sweating by now. Keep your head neutral. I look up at you guys, but really you should keep your head neutral. And breathe out. Breathe in, row, hold, squeeze, back down. Reset, and trying to keep the weights close to the body here, just so it doesn't act too much of a shearing force on that lower back. Reverse lunges are coming up. And 3, 2, 1, switch it up. However you like to hold your weights. I'm hitting up the goblet style here. But we can also do an offset loading, alternating right to left, offset, or it could be the same side and then switch to the outside of the leg. So many variations, so much fun too. Sometimes you like to keep it moving a little, you know, get the arm out at the side just for balance. Breathe your way through it. This is where the cardio part of it starts kicking in. And back down. And all the way up, down, up, change hands or stay in the goblet style. And 3, 2, 1, and switch to overhead press. So I'm gonna use the single dumbbell. Then I'll switch and I'll show you the 2 dumbbells just so we have it for the film. All the way up, hold it up, switch it down, single arm, press it up and over, back down, and back down. If you can hear me, let's just keep going. Hitting up that overhead press, and back down. So I'll just show you the double. 1 right, 1 left, and both. Next up, we have deadlifts. Stiff leg or your conventional suitcase deadlift, which is a precursor to any barbell training. Press. And 3, 2, 1, let's switch it up to deadlift. Choose your style. Stiff leg or suitcase style. That means bending the lower knees or the knees, not the lower knees. Not like you have upper knees and lower knees. Down, up, squeeze. We're moving today and it feels good. So glad you got up this morning, came here. Just think of your transfer time, like 5 minutes, right? From upstairs to wherever you need to go in your house. Squeeze. Keep them with those deadlifts. If you want to switch the style, we can do both in the same series. Ooh, that gives me ideas for workouts. Down, up, squeeze. Squeeze. Down, push those hips and squeeze. Next up, we're hitting the floor for push-ups. Down, hold, up and squeeze. Let some of that fatigue develop. 3, 2, 1. Safely put those weights down. We can take a knee, hit the floor. If you need more padding on the knees, we can do that. Drop it down. Lay on the floor, hands in line with the chest, all the way up. Touch your chest, come all the way back down. Press, core tight. Breathe out on the push. So breathe in, pause, joints are tight, press, or push the floor away. Core is tight, glutes are tight. You wanna squeeze, you wanna cross your feet. Whatever feels most comfortable for you. Hip lifts are next. And press. And 3, 2, and 1. Flip it over. And up to you. Double hip lift, meaning both legs on the floor, double glute bridge, or single leg, alternating right to left. Up, squeeze. And up. So you can up and hold, back down. Just making sure you get your weight into the heels. Whether or not you leave this non-working leg bent or straight is really up to you. Down, up, switch sides. And breathe as you push. Breathe out on the push. You can leave your head and neck on the mat instead of looking up. Then we're gonna hit up those reverse crunches, holding the weight overhead or just using the mat, or leg drops, or single leg drops. And 3, 2, 1. Using that weight, or you can even use 2 weights. I'll just show you how to set that up there. And reverse crunches. You leave the 10s on the floor, or you use your couch, the underside of the couch, as long as the couch is relatively heavy. Because if you're too strong, you're gonna be moving that couch all over the place. Up and squeeze. Slowly lower the hips. Lower back is still pressed into the floor. You can touch your toes, maybe a little froggy with the knees out. Up. And then we're gonna hit up front planks on the next one. Dropping it over. So you've come in, you've checked the box today. Hopefully you're feeling more awake than when we started the class. Up and squeeze. 3, 2, and 1. Flipping it over. Full body plank, half plank, or some combination of the two, trying to get those hips down. If you want, you can roll up on the toes. It's almost like a body saw. You might feel it in the elbows, so in that case, you want to stay still or drop it down to the knees. Because you can always lengthen this half plank even more, and it can still be an effective plank without going right to full body. Sometimes full body can really put those pains into the lower back, the center of the lower back. Core tight, draw in. And then you can focus on the vacuum in this kind of quadruped positioning, a lengthened plank position. And breathe. 10 seconds. And if you're holding the plank for 60 seconds, this is amazing. Great level of fitness. And 3, 2, 1. Get those weights out of the way if you happen to have them. Up. And this, I'm gonna zigzag laterally up my mat. I am nice and sweaty now. Hopefully you are too. I have some stretching that you can follow along, either with still images or a full follow along video. Or this would be a great time to go for a walk in the morning, kind of just